Hello and welcome back to Toy Thursday with Johnny Tiger on September 23rd, 2023. I know, missed a few episodes, but here we are, making up for our Toy Thursday. In front of the camera, we see a very muscular figure, and this is none other than Hercules at least. This is how Hercules was depicted in Marvel Comics, and this one was, I believe, made by Hasbro in their early days when they first took over the Marvel Legends toy line. They have recently made new figures of Hercules, but I honestly like this one so much that I have not bothered to replace him yet. I am one of those weirdos that once I get a figure of a character, and if that figure is adequate, I tend to not want to get another uh, version of that character. Uh, Partly is space is limited, partly is money is limited, and partly it's because as a blind person, one of the biggest reasons for me to get action figures is for me to learn what the character looks like or feels like, etc., etc. Once I accomplish that, I don't really feel the need to get another one unless that other one is drastically, drastically improved or drastically different. Now the new Hercules, while it's bigger and better articulated, of course, uh, doesn't seem to have much change done to it. And for that, unless I catch one on a deep discount, I'll probably skip it. So, uh, why are we looking at Hercules today? Because today we are celebrating. Prepare yourself. This is going to be a bit of a shocker for some people. Today we are celebrating Bisexual Awareness Day, or Bisexual Day, or Bisexual Pride Day. Yes, I can hear your steep intake of breath. And yes, I hate to tell you guys this. Those of you who might find this hard to stomach, Hercules, at least as how he was originally written in Greek mythology and how he has been portrayed over and over again, Hercules has always been bisexual. He's not picky. He's basically going to have sex with anything he feels like, anyone, anything, anywhere. He's just that badass. Now, before rumors start to fly, let me get this on the record. Johnny Tiger is not bisexual. Johnny Tiger is not part of the LGBTQ community. Although I have nothing against the LGBTQ community in general, and I have nothing against bisexual people. I have friends who belong to that community, and hey, like I would say, as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you get your rocks off, all the more power to you. But it's not my thing, so I am just like that. I am a very generic, simple, backward, primitive human male who only like human female, and that's that. Okay, just thought I want to get out of the way. Otherwise, next thing you know, someone say, "Hey, Johnny Tiger's celebrating Bisexual Awareness Day, so he must be bisexual." No, 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 no. I have all the respect for you guys who are, but I am not. Okay, just wanted to get that out of the way and on record. So what is Bisexual Awareness Day, Bisexual Day, Bisexual Pride Day? There's so many names for this, I can't even get them all straightened out in my head. Oops, pun there. That was totally unintended. So this day was originally started by three bisexual activists. Let me see if I can get their name straight. Their name was Gigi, Raven, Wilbur. I didn't make that one up. and Wendy Curry and Michael Page in 1999. The three of them decided to christen this day as Bisexual Day. Why on September 23? Because, well, originally they said it have to be in September because September also contains the birthday of Freddie Mercury, the lead singer for Queen, who was bisexual. And after that, they decided, well, let's just put it on September 23rd because I believe September 23rd was Gigi Raven Wilbur's birthday. Oh, it's one of their birthday. Don't quote me on it. I can't remember which one, but I think it was Gigi's birthday. And it was not until 2013 when bisexual activists finally got their first meeting with the Obama White House, in the White House. So that was a big event, of course, the first ever bisexual oriented event in the White House. That's a big deal right there. And of course, we still have a long way to go before full acceptance and people have open mind. Just the last couple of days, there have been all these protests in and across Canada about should kids learn about sexuality in school and not, or not, and all these backward country folks or like people who are even more primitive than myself, thinking, oh no, we should never teach kids about gay people or bisexual people or transgender people. That will turn them gay or turn them. No, dude, like, come on, people. You guys go read a little bit about scientific research. People don't usually just turn. Like, you can sit there and tell me about gay people all day long. It's not going to turn me gay if I wasn't born gay, right? Like, this thing is more nature than nurture. Yes, there are some people who decide to jump on that bandwagon halfway, and if you can, then cool. Again, if that's your thing, all the more power to you. But yeah, parents, like, come on. The way I look at it is, hey, kids is going to learn that stuff no matter you teach them or not, unless you just put them in the cave and don't let them use phone or internet altogether. You may think you have all the filtrations and guardianship and filter and all that security, but no, they're going to get it from their friend, from someone, if they really want to. So you might as well teach that in school, so at least they get the proper information. That's just my 2 cents, but hey, no one really listened to me anyway. So originally I thought about, Bisexual Awareness Day, we can do Hercules, but then I found an even more interesting character that I want to take a quick look at today. He's a vampire and bisexual by nature. As when Kitten asked me, who are you going to look at today? I said, we're going to look at a bisexual vampire dude. And then the Kitten said, well, aren't all vampires bisexual? I was like, yeah, okay, you got me there. I guess they are. I mean, at least if you go by modern standard, right? Like you go by Anne Rice and most of the modern portrayal of vampires, they seem to be bisexual. Although, would that even be considered bisexual though? Because vampires are not humans, so would that be bestiality? Because they are having sex with some other race? I don't know. It hurts my head to think about it. I don't like to think about that too much. But I think the original vampires like Dracula, I don't think they were bisexual. At least they, like the original, the very original Dracula never gave me that vibe that he was bisexual. He just seemed to be really scary and wanted to suck blood and kill people or whatever. So are all vampires bisexual? Yeah, okay, let's just say they are. Until further proof, further notice, let's just say they are. But that doesn't diminish who we're looking at today, because we are going to look at a guy who is half vampire, half human, super badass, and just an overall cool character to talk about. We are going to look at the half vampire uh, prince, you can say, the son of Dracula, vampire called Alucard. By the way, I am not having that kind of Dr. Pepper there because I'm advertising for them or that it's got anything to do with Alucard. That can of Dr. Pepper there is there for two purposes. One, when I get thirsty, I need something to drink. These videos tend to run very, very long, and I have to talk a lot. So I want something cool and sweet to keep me going. Need that little boost of energy. And second, since I'm going to have it there anyway, since I'm going to have it anyway, I thought I might as well put it in the background so you guys get a clear indication of how big the action figure is compared to a soda can. So that's it. Yeah, those are the only reasons why we have that there. In the background, we also see this really, really cool action figure weapon rack with all kinds of spears and swords and shields on it. That is from the Fortnite Menace action figure. That's a pack-in. A lot of people said it was crap, but I actually really enjoyed it. I added a lot of stuff to it to make it a little bit more functional, and now it functions as a great way to hold your extra action figure weapons. And I don't know, like I like it so much. I think if I ever see another Menace action figure on sale, I might just grab it for another weapon rack. That's how much I like this. But anyway, I digress. Well, let's talk about Alucard. So Alucard, who is he? What's he about? He is from the Castlevania Netflix Castlevania series. Really, really good series. If those of you haven't seen it, like, oh yeah, and spoiler alert. We're definitely going to spoil it. So spoiler coming up in 3 and 2 and 1. You're still here? Okay, let's go. Castlevania is a very cool Netflix series. There's video games, comic books, and all kinds of stuff. But we're going to just confine ourselves to the Netflix version because I never played the game and I have no idea what actually happened in the game. I know Alucard was in the game as well, but I don't know if the story was similar. So, in the Castlevania Netflix series, we had Dracula. Dracula, not much different about Dracula. Dracula was a big daddy vampire, grandfather of all vampires. He was like the lord, the ruler, the creator of all vampires. He's Dracula. Like nothing different there. So Dracula found a human woman, Lisa. Well, actually, she found him. And from there on, it's like a really sad, but very classic, very predictable story. In somewhere around 1450, Dracula was all alone in his castle, and then this human woman came knocking on his door. Lisa, she's a scientist or researcher. She's researching and learning about vampires, and Dracula thought that she was really interesting, and she thought that he was very interesting, and they started talking, and things happened, right? Like you don't need me to explain how things went. So anyway, she loved him, he loved her, and he promised her he's going to stop doing the vampire thing, and they can live together happily ever after. And then by 1475, a bunch of ignorant villagers thought that Lisa was cavorting with vampires, so she must be a witch and she must be a evil person. So a bunch of villagers waited until Dracula wasn't there. He was actually traveling the world trying to learn about how to get along with humans, because Lisa told him that he need to stop being a vampire and start exposing himself and like learn about the world and be more kind to humans. So okay, he left. He went and traveled, and you may wonder why did he leave her home alone? Well, because she was pregnant with his baby and she had to raise their child. So he went, left her in his castle and their son Alucard, and a bunch of ignorant villagers waited until Dracula wasn't home and came and stormed the castle and basically killed his wife. Lisa was burned as a torch, and, and Dracula barely made it back. Like he made it back in time to see her die. He didn't make it back in time to save her. Uh, yeah. So that, like I said, very sad, very predictable. Like those of you who watch Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, basically the same story right there, right? Uh, Powerful guy meets beautiful lady. Powerful guy promise beautiful lady he's going to give up his power, and beautiful lady get killed, and powerful guy go nuts. So from there on, Dracula said, "The hell with this. You guys kill my wife. I'm going to kill the entire world." So he started to want to bring demons and vampires out from hell. Like he basically summoned up this army from hell to destroy the entire world. No, he didn't even want to kill just human. He didn't want to just like, kill those villagers. He didn't want to enslave human. No, F that. Like, Dracula was so depressed, so sad, so heartbroken that he decided his way to do this was to destroy the entire world with himself in it. Some people are probably dancing in their seat by now, like, what about Alucard? What about Alucard? You keep talking about Dracula. Yeah, okay, we're getting to Alucard. So by this time, when Lisa got killed and Dracula went nuts, Alucard was about 20 years old. And you can imagine he was very, very sad that his mom got killed. So he decided to, like, at first he supported his dad's cause. He wanted to have his vengeance. But then he realized that what his dad was doing was wrong. I don't like personally. I don't know if I agree with that. There, like, I think if a bunch of ignorant villagers kill my mom, I'd probably be a little bit more sympathetic toward my dad. Even if my dad does seem to go off the deep end and want to burn down the whole world, I like honestly the way my personality is. If someone murdered my mom and my dad says he wants to burn down the world, I'd probably say, okay, Dad, let's burn down the world. Let's do it together. That's the problem with my thing. But anyway, Alucard, but obviously a better man than Johnny Tiger, and he decided that was wrong. So he decided to confront his father and say, hey, Dad, you need to cut this out. Yeah, Mom is dead, and doing this is not going to bring Mom back. And like, what would Mom think if she see what you are turning into? You're just a monster. You're not. Yeah, and you can imagine that didn't go over very well. So Big Daddy Vampire and Alucard had a fallen out and fist fight, and it was very scary. Both of them are super powerful. It turned out Big Daddy Vampire was a little bit more powerful. Well, okay, a lot more powerful. Almost killed Alucard. And so Alucard sealed himself up in a coffin underneath one of the cities. Basically, he needed to stay there and sleep and to recover from the damage that his dad did to him after when they were fighting. So he became kind of a legend in the city that people said have this prophecy that one day a sleeping soldier going to wake up and save humanity, and yada yada yada. You know how that went. And then this was when our hero of Castlevania, the story, the Trevor Belmont, a monster hunter, the hero, the protagonist, and he's I can't even say call her sidekick, because sometimes I see it seems like he's her sidekick. So he's a better half, let's just say. Sifa Belny the two of them basically met up and had their little introduction. The good guy meet beautiful lady, hero meet heroine, and then Sifa told Trevor that, hey, there's the sleeping soldier beneath the city that's going to save us. And Trevor, of course, thinks that she is crazy, but he decided to go with her to try to find out what this sleeping soldier business was about. And rather than finding a hero, they found a sleeping half vampire who woke up kind of pissed off. So Alucard woke up, and Trevor immediately knew that he was a vampire. He's not the savior or whatever. So the two of them got fighting, and Trevor almost got killed. Alucard almost got killed too. And the two of them were pretty evenly matched. Although, if you ask me, I actually think Alucard was holding back. I just going off of how badass Alucard was throughout that entire series, how strong he was. I think he was holding back. I think if he wanted to kill Trevor, he would have done it. Trevor, obviously being the main hero of the story, has a bit of a plot protection there, but I do think that Alucard was holding back during their initial fight. So anyway, after they fought, they decided, okay, we want to stop Dracula. You are his son, and you want to stop him too. And so, okay, let's go stop him together. So they did. They joined forces, and okay, this is going to get a bit long, so I'm going to cut this a little bit short. So yeah, long story short, they had a lot of adventures. They fought a lot of demons and other vampires, and then finally, they confronted Dracula in Dracula's own castle, which was called Castlevania. Yeah, the name of the show. And Trevor and Sifa weren't really match for Dracula. It was down to father and son. Their second round, the rematch between Dracula, Big Daddy Dracula, and Alucard. And pretty much Alucard was still getting his ass kicked by Big Daddy, because yeah, Dracula, big deal, really strong. Even though at this time, Dracula was kind of wasting away because he stopped eating. He was so sad about his wife's death, and he stopped eating, and he was wasting away. But he's still kicking his son's butt, left, right, and center. The fight in the castle was amazing. I watched that series, and even though I can't see what's going on, being blind and all, there was description in the video, and yeah, the fight was great. Alucard really showed a lot of his power there, and I mean, he was holding his own for a while, but ultimately his dad whooped his butt, and his dad would have killed him, but at the last minute, Dracula had this epiphany that he remembered his wife, and he kind of did the whole, oh my god, I miss you so much, I love you so much, and I can't kill our son, I just can't. And so he let his son kill him. That's basically it. Like I said, I did say there's going to be spoiler, right? The show came out in like 2019, 2020, so if you haven't seen it now, I'm sorry. Go watch it. It's really good. There's still so much I am not talking about, so it's worth watching. So after that, after they killed Dracula, Alucard decided that his life was over. There's no purpose anymore. So he wanted to kill himself, but his good friend Sifa and Trevor stopped him. And Trevor basically told Alucard, hey, you know what? Me and Sifa, we are going to go travel the world, kill monsters, have adventures, and you are going to just be a third wheel. So why don't you stay home and guard the castle? And that's your new purpose in life, is to guard the castle. And Alucard agreed. So Trevor and Sifa went off and left him all alone in this big castle with all the weapons and knowledges of generations of monster hunter that he is guarding. Now, guarding the castle obviously was very lonely and very depressing, and Alucard spent a lot of time on his own and was very lonely. And then one day, a couple of young monster hunters showed up and basically begged him to take them under his wings and teach them how to kill vampires. And Alucard agreed. And he didn't know that these two were going to be bad, evil people. So, you know, like, this is kind of a little cautionary tale. You know, no matter how lonely you are, be aware of strangers showing up at your door, telling you how much they admire you and they want to learn from you, and please let them live in your house. Because Alucard totally fell for that, and because he was so lonely, one night he had sex with them, and that's when we first found out for sure that Alucard was bisexual. I mean, you know, it comes with no surprise, like Kitten said, kind of all vampires are supposed to be. But yeah, like, yeah, and while they were having sex, these two young hunters were actually trapped him in a trap, in a snare, and tried to torture him and get the secret of the castle out of him, and then they tried to murder him. He turned out to be a lot more dangerous than they thought, though, because he was able to magically summon his sword and use his sword to cut their throat, all the while being tied up. Like, he didn't even touch his sword. He just used his magic to call his sword and basically told his sword to kill them. And yeah, I did say that Alucard is really badass. So now that we get the bisexual part out of the way, let's do a quick countdown of his powers. Being part vampire made Alucard super strong. Okay, that is the first most obvious. He could cause Trevor to fly across the room just with one punch. And when they were clearing the debris at the Belmont Castle, when they were digging through the rubble, and while Trevor was having problems lifting big rocks, big stone, Alucard was doing it without any effort. Like, he picked up those rocks like they weigh nothing. So he's super strong. In addition to that, he was also super fast. In the show, a lot of time when you see Alucard fight, it's almost like he can teleport. Like 1 second he's in front of you, next second he's behind the person, and the person's dead. Like, he moves super fast. A lot of time, all you see is like traces of shadows of his movement when he's moving. So he got that super speed. And he can also fly. When he's fighting his dad, when he's fighting Dracula, both of them were kind of flying and hovering, levitating. He can also regenerate from fatal injuries. Wounds that could have killed regular human take him about a year to heal. Minor scratches and bruises he can heal almost instantaneously. So yeah, he got the healing factor, he got the super strength, he can fly, he got the super speed. In addition to that, he can also transform himself into a wolf or a flock of bats, just like Dracula. As if that's not already impressive enough, he is a master swordsman. His swordsmanship is amazing, coupled with his super speed and super strength. You can just imagine how scary that is. And to make things even scarier, he also can use magic. One of the things that he does a lot is he'll conjure blue flame around his sword, so that makes his sword like super deadly. And like I already mentioned, during the fight or when he was trapped by those two young hunters that seduced him, he was able to magically summon his sword and magically use the sword to cut their neck, uh, just like that. And he does that in a lot of the fights with other vampires. You'll see that a lot of times he doesn't even hold on to his sword. He'll just use his mind to control his sword, and the sword just fly around and kill whoever he wants it to kill. So that's really, really cool stuff right there. Alucard also has pretty much a genius level intellect, understand inventions, machineries, arcane knowledges, can speak multiple languages, understand a lot of different monsters and what they do, how to kill them. He is just like a walking encyclopedia of ancient knowledge. Really, really cool. And on top of all that, as if that's not already unfair to have a guy like that, he is drop dead gorgeous. He is a good looking guy. Alucard is tall and lean and muscular and wears black long coat and usually black or white shirt underneath with black leather pants and knee-high black boots. His hair is either silvery white, platinum, or very light blonde. I can't really tell. Like I said, I have to go by different sources. So I think he's like a platinum blonde, but he has a very light, pale kind of a skin and hair. When he's not very angry, his eyes are like red, just a dull red. But when he taps into his vampiric power, they can become blood red. And he of course has the vampire fangs and all that cool stuff. So yeah, not only this guy got super strength, intelligent, super speed, healing factor, can turn into animals and can use magic. He is good looking, and he's what I think for me what I like is how long his hair is. That hair is what I'm trying to get my hair to be like. I know it's got to be really uncomfortable and hot in the summer. Obviously, that doesn't matter to a vampire, but yeah, that's some gorgeous long hair right there. Now, this action figure of Alucard was made by Diamond Select in the Castlevania Select toy line. I believe 2020, might be earlier. And sad to report, it's a bit of a bust. The entire Castlevania line was a bit of a bust. Actually, talking about the Castlevania line, I do want to vent a little bit, right? I got tricked into buying these guys. I was on the phone with a collector friend of mine, and he said, "Hey, have you heard about the Castlevania line? They just made action figures based on the Netflix TV series, guys." And I didn't hear about that, of course. So I was super interested. And I was like, "Oh, really? Wow, that's really cool. How are they? Are they any good?" And then the guy went, "Well, I don't know. I mean, some people say they look really good. They definitely look pretty good, and they come with all kind of accessories. So if Diamond Select, they should be pretty good." Okay, so being a brave person, always eager for new action figures, I went and bought them, and they were horrible. We'll talk about why they're horrible in a little bit, but I was so angry, right? And so next time I talk to the same person, I say, "Hey, don't get those Castlevania guys. They're awful." I thought I was doing him a favor. I thought I was warning him and giving him a fair warning. And what did the guy say to me? He said, "Yeah, I know. I bought them." I was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" Like, wow, guys, dude, that is so not cool. If you bought them and they suck, why didn't you tell me? And he said, "Well, it's because I wanted to see if you feel the same way as I do." Okay, you wanted to see if I feel the same way as you do, and you made me you could have prevented me from wasting 70-80 bucks, right? That's yeah. God, I can't even begin to express how annoying some collectors make me feel when they do crap like that. Anyway, back to the figures. Why is it crap? Okay, good thing first. He's pretty big. He's pretty tall. This may be a good thing or a bad thing because depending on who you want him to blend in with. But he is a good size. You are getting a good chunk. He's not chunky, but you're getting a good tall figure here. He is looking pretty good. Painted well. The hair is gorgeous. The black leather coat is really, really cool. And I think he got a white shirt under that. And oh, the coat apparently has like vertical gold stripes on the side. So yeah, really good looking character. Good looking action figure, that's for sure. And as I have been doing throughout the video, I've been changing his hands to different postures, to different gestures. I have changed his head. He comes with two heads. One is the one we have on him now, which is a more calm, cool, collected, and the other one is got his mouth open, like he's going to bite somebody. So the other one is like his more vampiric head. And he comes with a lot of hands. He comes with hands to hold his sword. He comes with fists. He comes with claws. He comes with 3 other sets of hands. I don't even know what they are, like different at different states of openness, right? So he basically comes with a lot of hands. Like there's 5 pairs of hands in total, I think, of different gestures, different states of holding something or making a fist. So yeah, okay, that sounds cool, right? He also comes with a sheath for his sword, and of course he comes with a sword that goes in the sheath, and then he comes with a second version of that sword. It's a sword that covered in blue flame, which is the one we're looking at in his hand right now. So that all sounded great, right? He's pretty tall, he's good looking, he comes with a lot of accessory. Yeah, but unfortunately, Diamond Select really went Diamond Select on these guys. If you ever collect a Diamond Select action figure, you know what I'm talking about, right? Diamond Select, they make great looking statues, and they make great looking action figures that can't do action. Like, they're kind of worse than McFarlane. Why do I say that? Because at least when Todd McFarlane was doing that, he was putting them in really cool poses. Yeah, you're locked into that cool poses, but you know, at least they look cool. But these Diamond Select figures of Castlevania guys like Alucard here, his hair is very stiff. His long coat is very stiff. That long coat is like a straight jacket. His leg articulation basically gets pointless. You can't do anything with his leg. You can't get him into cool sword fighting poses. He can only pretty much stand straight because his coat is so stiff. Right? You try to pose his leg, his coat's going to prop him up and make him look like he's levitating off the ground. Which I guess that is one of his powers. So I guess that's fine. And with the head, with the long hair, again, there's just nothing you can do with his head. He can turn left and right, yeah, but he can't really look up or look down. So the long hair and the long coat effectively killed off 2/3 of his articulation, and that would have been okay. Like, I am not a very big articulation guy, really. So even if all he could do was make cool poses with his arm and hand, that would still be okay. I would be happy with that. But he can't even do that. Why? Because he doesn't have butterfly joints. And so his arms can't come in far enough for him to get any kind of two-handed pose with his sword. And even worse than that, his elbow joints only bend for about 45-degree angle. You can't even get a 90-degree angle out of the elbow on this guy. And this is not excusable because he is a very slender, he's a lean action figure. It's not like he got giant bicep blocking his arm. So for a skinny guy like this to only be able to barely bend his arm, that's not good. That is so not cool. Like, honestly, Diamond Select really dropped the ball on this one. I would much rather they save some plastic, don't give us so many useless gesturing hands, and do proper joints, at least proper arm joints for these guys. Okay? Talk about wasting plastic. The sword, let's talk about the sword. First biggest gripe, the sword doesn't sit properly in his hand. Yeah, he looks like he's holding it fine right now, but watch this. Yeah, I picked him up and shook him a little bit, and that sword fell right out of his hand. I can remember, but I have spent so many times looking for this sword when it dropped out of his hand while I was posing him on the bookshelf. It's aggravating. Okay, so in addition to that, when I was talking about wasting material, we have this version of the sword, which is a regular version. Yeah, it's skinny and long and look like a sword should. And then we have this version, which is the same sword but covered in this flame effect. Why did they do this? Why didn't they just make proper flame effect that fits over the blade of the regular sword, like the sword I showed you guys in our review of the ethereal action figure last week? That's how you do flame effect. You don't just make a second flaming sword. That's silly. In addition to that, yes, he comes with a sheath to keep the sword in, but there's no way for him to carry the sheath. I have to Mickey Mouse this one myself so he can carry it on his back. But yeah, there's just no way for him to carry his sword in the sheath and carry the sheath. And since we are on the sword, let me show you guys another very annoying problem with the sword. This is not too bad with the regular sword, but this flaming sword, flaming version, the front part, the flame part, is very heavy, and then the part, the hilt part where he's holding onto, and this is very skinny, and the whole thing is made of this really bendy, gummy material, which means you put this in his hand, this is going to start drooping in no time, and next day you don't have a sword anymore. Next time you got something that looks like a melting tapioca something. Yeah, not cool. So yeah, he is an action figure made in 2020, no less, by a reputable company that can barely move, has crappy designs on his joints, and really a lot of wasted accessories that no one really wants. I don't know who was behind the work desk that approved these action figures. I really don't know. Yeah, not cool. I just overall not very good at all. And you know, normally I don't even care that much about articulation in general, but these guys just frustrating, especially when you have a character who's known for super speed and sword fighting like Alucard. It's so frustrating to only be able to pose him standing there looking menacing. At least he does that really good. Now let's do some size comparison. I totally skipped Dracula. They did make a Dracula, but that one's even worse than all the rest, and so I didn't get him. Uh, so we're going to bring in another version of Dracula made by Todd McFarlane. Here is the Dracula made by Todd McFarlane in the movie Maniac Blind. I believe this came out in year 2000. Really cool figure. I mean, obviously he's crouching down a little bit, so he looks really small next to Alucard here. And for another representative of vampires, we have Morbius from Marvel Legends. And this gives you guys an idea of how big Alucard is comparing to your 6-inch action figure. Uh, Morbius is roughly the same general size of Captain America, so we are not going to bring Captain in today because Morbius already fills that 6-inch, 6.5-inch mark. And yeah, Alucard towers over both McFarlane's Dracula and Hasbro's Marvel Legends here. So okay, let's bring in a bigger figure. We bring Hercules back in, and yeah, Alucard still towers over Hercules, even though Hercules is, I'm pretty sure he's 7 inches tall. The Alucard here, I would say, is close to 8 inches tall. And now we have the Witcher action figure by Todd McFarlane. This one is, I'm pretty sure he's 7 inches tall. Um, and again, Alucard just dwarf both Witcher and Hercules. So yeah, he is a pretty tall character. Um, Not sure if he's supposed to be that tall in the show, but anyway, that gives you guys an idea of the size you're dealing with here. So if you like the character and if you don't mind that he can't really do anything other than just stand there carrying his sword on his back or holding his sword casually in one hand, uh, he's a good looking action figure. Not sure how well he'll fit in with other stuff, but um, I would say for most people, it's a safe skip this figure, skip the whole Castlevania line. They truly, truly suck. Uh, and just not worth your money unless you can get them at a really deep discount. Like if you can get them for $5 each, then yeah, go ahead and get them. That is, folks. That's for today's video. Tomorrow, we'll probably be busy, so might not have a video out tomorrow. But who knows? We might surprise you. Bye.